What's up everybody, TechChucker here, and I've got a review of the Diamond Select Series 5 Ghostbusters Wave Terror Dog. Now, I don't collect much for Diamond Select, and I do not collect Ghostbusters figures, but when I saw this Terror Dog sitting at Toys R Us, I had to have it. This thing is so cool. Now, this is from the 1984 Ghostbusters movie, and I gotta say, this thing is awesome. It is so cool. And what's better is I got it for $9.99. Now, it was supposed to be $16.99, which I would have easily paid because it is such a cool figure. So, without gushing any further, let's go ahead and crack this thing open and take a closer look. Alright, we're going to take a look at the articulation on this Terror Dog because there's a lot, and for the most part it is quite good. The neck has, or the head has basically a double ball peg, as it looks like it's a double ball peg. There's a decent amount of range of motion up. I do wish that he could go up a little bit more. There is also that neck piece that is also a ball peg. It works pretty good. I do wish that he could get his head up a little bit more. He's got good rotation side to side. There's a lot of range of motion for a lot of different emotion-based poses, which is awesome. His jaw is articulated with a hinge. That is awesome. It's good and tight too, so it holds that position really, really nicely. Very happy with the neck articulation, even with the slight limitation. I mean, he can get his head up quite a bit and a lot of different rotation options. In the legs, this is where it gets pretty interesting. There is a ball hinge in the shoulder, allows him to get his arm up about this far, which isn't too bad. I mean, I wouldn't expect him to go higher than that. So I'm pretty pleased with that. These joints are very, very tight, which is good. Then in the elbow, I guess you'd call it, he's got a hinge, and that gives a pretty good range of motion as well. There's also a peg so it can swivel. And then in the ankle, there is a hinge, and he's got good rotation, or good range of motion going forward, really good going back. The only gripe that I have is I wish that there was toe articulation, at least on the front, because then you could make it look like he's, lashing out to grab at someone. But basically, you can get that leg forward and back pretty darn good. So you're going to have a good amount of posability there. In the torso, it looks like there is a double ball peg, I believe, and he's got good range of motion there. It does look a little funky at the top when you do that, but he's got good rotation. No real issues there. Moving into the hindquarters, basically it's the same ball hinge as we had in the front, just slightly smaller. You can rotate it, and you can pull it out to a certain degree, not a lot, but enough, which is good. And then there is a hinge just at the top. There's a lot of hinges in these back legs. So there's a hinge up here, and that swivels. And see if I can get it. It doesn't really go a lot. Goes forward a little bit. And then this other, basically, additional knee, this one gives you a lot of range of motion, which is really good. It's another hinge. And then the ankle has a lot of range of motion, both forward and backwards, which is really, really awesome. There are no ankle rockers, which would have been nice. But, you've got a lot of range of motion with those other joints. I'm very pleased with the overall articulation. It would be cool if the tail was articulated. That would have been pretty cool. But overall, the articulation, there's a lot there. And since I paid $10 and this regular price is like $17, that's pretty generous, I would say. All right, so the sculpt and the paintwork are really what sold me on this figure. I really think that Diamond Select did an amazing job on this. If I can get this thing to focus. Whoa. All right, here we go. So look at this face. I mean, just look at the detail work. The eyes, they have that glow look. It's kind of glossy. It looks really, really nice. I love the look of this face there. That's a little bit better for the focusing. I think that they did an amazing job with this sculpt. They painted it so nicely. The skin, the mouth. I mean, look at the detail work and the paint work in that mouth. I mean, you can actually see the tongue and the teeth. And it just looks amazing. The horns have a nice little black wash in them, which just looks so good. And then moving down into the skin tone, I mean, there's no unsculpted areas. I mean, you've got little skin wrinkles, and there's paint detail throughout, which is really, really great. I mean, for a $17 figure, they really put a lot of attention to the details on this. The claws have some nice paint detail. There is a little bit of messiness to just a little bit, but I mean, it looks really, really nice. And I feel as though they really captured the original look of the Ghostbusters Terror Dog, the actual movie version of this. I think they did a phenomenal job with this thing. I have zero complaints. And for a little size comparison here, we'll do a quick measurement. From the top of his head, probably about a little more than 5 inches, I'd say, to his head. If you were to stand him up straight for whatever reason, that's about 8 inches. So he's a pretty decent sized figure. I would say he scales pretty well with a 6-inch figure. We've got Deadpool here. I would say this scales really, really well in the 6-inch figure realm. So I think Diamond Select did a pretty darn good job with this figure. Again, scale, sculpt, paint, all of them are just top notch. All right, so accessory-wise is a little bit weak. We get these 2 extra horns. They are shorter horns, and my preference really is the longer horns. You can see they've got the same paint and sculpt work quality there. They look nice. I just prefer the longer ones. So let's go ahead and pop one of these in, and then you can see for yourself which one you might like. So they have a specific kind of peg configuration that will only allow it to go in one direction or one way. If I can pop this other one in, and then you can get a good look at what this guy looks like with the shorter ones. Yeah, see, me personally, I like the longer ones. The longer ones are the ones that are actually in package in the figure. So, overall, I can't be disappointed in the accessories, because really we didn't need to get any accessories for the price point and for the character or the figure itself. There's not a lot that you'd need to give us. Overall, I am so pleased with this figure. I think Diamond Select did an amazing job on pretty much everything with this figure, especially the price point. I got mine for $9.99 because it was mispegged on a different Ghostbusters peg, and I lucked out. I should have gotten 2 of them. I only got 1, but it is what it is. I highly recommend, if you like Ghostbusters the movie at all, go grab this figure. They did an amazing job with the sculpt, with the paint, with the articulation. I mean, this is just a top-notch figure. Alrighty folks, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and go ahead and leave a comment what you think of this figure. Do you have it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.